Everybody can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. So welcome. I saw we had another person join us. So welcome everybody. Um, this is a topic that sometimes can be intimidating. I know Orlando and I both were like, this is one of those things where people are not 100% familiar, so it can be intimidating and kind of shy away from it because you don't know enough about it. And so I'm trying to break it down in such a way that you all feel totally comfortable and feel like, oh yeah, I got this. And so by the time we get off of this call, you'll be like, yeah, I'm going to implement at least this many revenue streams. Oftentimes, as an entrepreneur, we believe having additional customers may be the answer to your cash flow problems. And sometimes it's not. One thing I've discovered is that having additional revenue streams can eliminate cash flow problems and enable you to work smarter and not harder as an entrepreneur, especially as a solopreneur. So I'm going to introduce you to a few strategies that will help you generate that beach money. And I'll talk about what that is in a minute. But if you want the beach money, this is very interactive. So put an emoji in the chat that represents money for you. Hopefully you can do an emoji. If not, just write cash, write money, write Skrilla, write whatever that means to you, because I need to know that you all are here with me. And this is going to be super interactive. So while you're doing that, I will say that this is going to be high energy, highly interactive. I'm going to feed off of y'all's energy. So if you don't give me any energy, then shame on you, because this will be boring. Psych. No, it won't. But but I want to give you as much as possible, and I can't do that if I don't know if you're really here. So the real work will actually happen after this webinar. So like Orlando said, if you need some additional support, if you need a one-on-one, that is where the real work will happen. I like what Susan said. She said travel and retirement. Hello, that's beach money, okay? So thank you, Tamira. Thank you, Aisha, and thank you, Deirdre. Thank you, Tresha, Cream, okay? I love it. So let's get started. So to answer this question, I told you guys this is interactive. So I would need you to answer this question. I don't know why it's not showing up. Huh. Okay. This was interactive, but it's okay. The question is, how many revenue streams do you think the average business has? You can put it in the chat. 2 to 3, 2, 5, 3, 3 to 4. Okay. 5. All right. That's a lot. That is a lot. Thank you. Orlando said usually one. Usually one, maybe two. So you guys are saying really high numbers. So tell me, how many revenue streams do you all have? If you can put that in the chat. If you say the average business, the average successful or finesse business has 3, 4, or 5, that was larger numbers. How many do you all have? Okay, 1. Thank you. 2, 2, 4. Okay. I like that. 3. Okay. This is good. And those are great numbers. Any number is a great number, because in order for you to be successful, you got to have at least one, right? But having more than one is really the key. The next question I have for you, and I know probably all of you are going to get this, hit this on the money, but what is the average number of revenue streams what's the number of revenue streams for the average millionaire? What's that number? I've read this several different times in several different places, and it's pretty consistent. Thank you, Tamira. All right. Okay. Thank you. Yes, so the average millionaire has 7 revenue streams. 7 revenue streams. And I honestly don't know the average number of revenue streams for an entrepreneur. But what I will say is that if you want to be truly finesse, you got to have at least 1 passive and 2 active. And we'll talk about passive revenue streams versus active revenue streams in a moment. So today, what we're going to go over is we're going to talk about revenue streams. And again, we're going to talk about 6 passive revenue streams, 6 active revenue streams. And then we're going to go into revenue models. Okay. So the thing that you really need to know is that a revenue stream is a company's source of generating income and revenues. A company can have, multiple revenue streams depending upon the size, but the most successful and the most finesse companies have at least 3, meaning a passive one and a couple active ones. And then a revenue model is a strategy for managing the company's revenue streams and the resources required for each revenue stream. So before I get into our content, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Fiscal Finesse. A lot of people call me all kinds of stuff, but I like to be called by my name, which is Fiscal Finesse. And I have my website there, and I also have a QR code. So if you want to take a picture of that, that would be great. But a little bit about me and why I do this is because I'm an educator. I actually love to teach. Like, I get to learn twice when I teach. I'm an entrepreneur myself, so I love to solve problems and I like to get paid for doing so. Okay. And then also I'm an example. I'm an example for some of you because I came from nothing. I started my business wrong. I was a single teenage mother. I'm a first generation college student. I am really first generation homeowner. So I like to be an example for the folks that I'm before, because so they can see, okay, if she could do it, guess what? So can I, right? I have 3 successful businesses. I'm not really running any of them right now. They're kind of running on their own. I will say that because of who I am, because I love to teach, because I am an educator, I get called upon to do things practically every week, but I'm not really like actively seeking opportunities, but I love to do it. And so anytime an opportunity comes up, I will do it. I actually have 6 revenue streams. The most recent one is being an influencer. If y'all look at that picture right there. Oh, thank you, Susan. She said, I'm one of the most dynamic entrepreneurs she knows. I am amazing. Thank you. I totally agree. I appreciate that. If you look at that picture at the bottom of the screen, I just got engaged. And actually, that made me an influencer. I had some media outlets that reached out to me and was like, hey, can we use your story? And I'm like, yes. And I was just saying yes because it's public. I didn't think that they was actually going to pay me. Next thing I know, maybe like a few days later, they were like, what's your PayPal? And I was like, why? They sent me $1,000. So I'm like, okay, I'm an influencer. Okay, that means you get paid for your content. So I'm like, oh, that's another revenue stream. Let me hurry up and do some more stuff and see what I can get paid for. But I was super excited about the fact that I could count myself as an influencer. I really think I'm an influencer, period, just because I do feel like I'm a positive influence on a lot of folks' life. But now I can say the definition of influencer is getting paid for your content. So I'm an influencer now, y'all. In addition to that, I've been teaching entrepreneurs for like 14 years. And I'm a certified business coach, a certified life coach, and a certified financial coach. So I love this stuff. And so that's why I'm able to give it to you in such a way, hopefully, that it's on a level where you can digest it and really grow your business. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the direct messages and all the messages in the chat. Thank y'all. It was a lovely time. It was like dreamy and just like, okay, this is awesome. But I won't even talk about that. Okay, let me move on. Listen, I can give y'all a ton of statistics, but I'm not. I just want to make this statement that small business owners are failing. And there are a number of different reasons why we're failing, right? Especially if we are businesses of color or just minority owned or disadvantaged businesses. We're failing on several different levels. And we can blame it on a lot of different things. And they're really not excuses. This is our reality. But that is the reality. Small businesses are failing. And here's how I define failing. So if you look at these 3 categories, and this is where I put my clients in, I want them to understand, here's where you are so that we can get you where you want to be. So failing to me is a business that is operating and not paying themselves, right? Their personal credit is lacking. They have negative cash flow, inconsistent marketing, multiple dead end businesses or jobs? Y'all ever seen that person that's like, oh my goodness, you selling insurance now? Oh, all right, now you're selling eyelashes. Oh, okay, now you're doing MLM. You're like, what in the world are you doing? You have all of these businesses and none of them are doing you any good. That's really failing because they fail to concentrate on one business, put all their energy into one business to make that thing grow. And so because of that, their businesses are failing because you cannot do everything well. And we all know that. You stretch yourself so thin, you will not be able to do anything well. And then they have a lack of time management. So that's that failing category. So that's why I said many businesses and business owners are failing. Then you have the fair category. So that's when you actually are paying yourself. You're feeling good about your business. You have a growth strategy. You're generating a profit. You have good credit. You know, you're paying your debt on time. And then you have at least 2 active revenue streams. So that's that fair category where you're like, you know what? I'm experiencing a little bit of growth. I'm comfortable. And maybe I'm not growing at this point, but I do have a plan to do so. And then the last category, I call it finesse. Now that's when you're paying not only yourself, but you're paying someone else to support you, support the work you do. Good example. We went down to Alki Beach just, what was that, Sunday? What's today? Dang, this week flying by. We went down to Alki Beach on Sunday. And we go to that ice cream shop. I know if y'all been down there, y'all probably been there. So one of the things that I griped about is the line is down the street. And of course, we went down there for it, so we're going to stand in the line. And some folks like that experience. I don't. I'm super impatient. But one of the things I said when I got in there is this woman is so selfish. She is failing because you're sitting in here and you're serving this ice cream and you're taking the money, you're taking the orders by yourself. Why? Why are you doing that when you have all these people? And I know you make enough to be able to afford some help. So in my mind, as a business coach, you always looking at what's the solution here, right? So I went straight to that, like, man, what kind of business owner would want to stress her? And her eyes was like bloodshot red. And my baby was like, I think she's mad. I was like, no, she's not mad. She's tired. She's tired. She's wore out. So that's just a lack of time management and a lack of delegating and getting the right people in there. So I, you know, me being me, big mouth Jenna Finesse, I was like, why are you doing this? Like, why don't you have any help? She's like, oh, they don't come in. I'm thinking, you're lying, okay? Because there's no way you don't have multiple folks. You could ask somebody in this line, hey, would you like to work for an hour? And you could pay them, I don't know how much, but our order alone was like $30 for 3 ice creams, okay? So you're making enough money to be able to pay somebody. My point is, it's important for us to not only have enough to pay ourselves, but also to employ others, because again, small business is the backbone to our economy. And the reason why is because we're creating new jobs, right? And so that's the purpose of us being finessed. See, thank you, Tamira. She said, that's me. I'm that woman. Right. And I want to get you out of that cycle because you do not want to be wore out. You do not want to be sitting up here trying to gain all this stuff and you can't even enjoy it. Her eyes were bloodshot red. And can you imagine the amount of hours that she's putting in? I mean, she running from here. My baby's like, I don't know if I want this. She got one glove on. She touching the money. She touching it. She just doing everything. I'm like, okay, baby, let's just give her some grace. But my point is, we want to get you out of that cycle. We want to get you to the cycle of being finessed in your business. And so thank you for admitting that that's where you are, Tamira. So anybody else want to admit where they are? Which category do you fall into? Are you failing? Are you fair? Or are you finessed? Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. I like that. So some of us are in between failing and fair. Some of us are fair. Some of us are failing. Anybody finessed? Anybody finessed? Yes or no in the chat. I just want to know. Some fair, some failing. Got it. Not yet finessed. No, but you're getting there. Where do you all want to be in the future? You got to put it in the chat. I want to be finessed Finesse me. Finesse me now. Keep finessing. Something I need to know. Where do you want to be in the future? Because that's the reason why you're here, right? You want to know, how do I get, look, Susan said finesse times 100, okay? To the 100 power. I love it. And that's how we're going to get you there, by absolutely finessing your revenue streams. So these are the 6 active revenue streams. You can take a picture if you want. You don't have to. I will definitely get you these slides. Actually, at the end of this, I have a link for the slides. So if you want to take pictures or take notes, it's a great thing because, of course, it etched into your memory, but I'll definitely make sure you get these slides. But here are the 6 active revenue streams. And remember, I said, if you are finessed, you have at least 2 active revenue streams and at least 1 passive revenue streams. But having more is just going to be even more beneficial in one business. Okay. I know some of us can manage multiple businesses, right? But if you're not finessed in one business, why even do that? Why even spread yourself so thin? It just doesn't make sense. And I think, as far as me being a Black woman and some of y'all being Black women, we've kind of been trained and taught that that's what we got to do. We got to constantly be doing and moving and shaking and grooving. And it's like, no, it's okay to focus, right? It's okay to do one thing. I remember when I took this position, I'm currently the vice president of community relations and public affairs at Seattle Credit Union. I remember when I took this position, I love helping small businesses. And so in my mind and in my heart, and I also love teaching, and I'm still a professor at Seattle Credit Union, but I was also a dean. And so in my mind, I was thinking, you know what, I'm working virtually. I could manage it. I could probably handle it. And I think I did it for maybe a couple of weeks. And then I came to the realization that I don't have to. I was doing that because I had to. I had to work all these jobs and do all these things because I wanted a certain lifestyle and a certain income. But I don't have to anymore. And so once I came to that realization, I could like literally relax. And I could really just sit back and be like, you know what? This is good. I feel good about this. And I don't do anything that I don't want to do anymore because guess what? I don't have to anymore. And I was talking to another friend. She also has her MBA and she's doing a lot of things and she is all over the place. And I'm like, girl, you are all over the place. Let me help you because this is not productive and this will wear you out. And guess what? Stress is the number 1 killer. We'll be sitting up here stressed out. Next thing you know, we're gone. And guess what? They're going to hire the next person. They're going to move on and keep it moving. So we got to take care of ourselves. And that's just my plug for mental health and mental stability and just life balance. Okay. That's just a simple plug. But getting back to the content. So thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, girl. I was hoping that resonated with somebody. So listen, the 6 active revenue streams are your experiences, and we don't say services anymore because we really know that it's an experience. People don't buy services anymore. They buy experiences. They want to walk away with something where they feel like, oh my goodness, this was amazing. And this is the reason why I choose you over someone else. So your experiences or a fee for service, that's number 1. Number 2 is your products. Number 3 are classes and webinars like this, right? Number 4 is your consulting, your mentoring, your coaching, or your tutoring. And then number 5 is a part-time job or working from home. And that is the bomb right now. Everybody's hiring from home. I was talking to somebody yesterday. He just got hired at Amazon. He was like, I'm 100% virtual. And he was like, and I have so much free time, I could do 2 jobs. Like, this is the life. I don't know what COVID did, but it blessed a few of us, okay? And then the last active revenue stream is vendor events. So just to go a little bit deeper, let me go into the passive ones and then I'll break them down. So the passive revenue streams are your videos, your books, your music. If we have any musicians here, those royalties that come from that's a passive revenue streams. So it's like you're doing it once, but you get paid for it over and over and over. Another one is gift cards and gift certificates. Then you have subscriptions and memberships, rents, other swag, investments, or interest-bearing accounts. Those are all ways to have passive revenue streams, that beach money that we talked about, where you're just sitting on the beach chilling and your account is like cha-ching. Okay. So the first one is your main experience and or product. So your primary source of active income comes from your main experience or your main product. So let me know what everybody does out here. What's your industry? What's your profession? Where's your business? What type of business do you have? And while you were typing that in the chat, I'm going to speak directly to like a hairstylist, because I get a lot of clients that are like beauty professionals. Oh, look, see, look at this. Oh my goodness. Aisha and Tiffany, both hairstylist, salon owner, and salon. Oh, Deirdre, artist, love it. Okay, wonderful. So let me speak to Tiffany and who was that? Tiffany and Aisha. Yes, thank you. So as a stylist, your main source of income should be your experiences. Whatever you do to style your client, right? For many of you, it may be your only revenue stream, right? Because you feel like, you know what, I'm spending 8 hours in that chair, or 8 hours, working the chair all day. You might feel like I don't have time for nothing else. So this is actually your main experience, your main product. And this is considered active income. The thing about this, Aisha and Tiffany, is that if you're not actively working, you're not going to get paid. And so that's why it's your main experience or your main product, right? And it keeps you physically doing something. And this is why it's problematic. Because if you go on vacation, if you have a child, if you get sick, or anything that takes you away from actively performing them duties, guess what's going to happen? Your clients are going to go to someone else, right? They're not going to pay you for a service or an experience that they're not getting. And so this is why it's kind of problematic. The second one is your complementary revenue streams, your complementary products or experiences. So for example, if you're a hairstylist, you should absolutely be reselling shampoo, conditioner, edge control, weave, whatever your clients are coming to you for. You have to have some type of retail component. Wonderful. Tiffany, she said she just opened for retail. Absolutely. You got to. I remember I went to a barbershop. I get, my hair short, so I get like a little faded up or lined up. And at the time, I wanted one of those brushes. I was in, where was I at? I think I was in Virginia Beach or something. And I wanted one of those brushes, that you could like kind of like match your hair up. And so I was talking to the barber and I was like, hey, do you know where I can get one of those brushes? I was in the area. I wasn't really sure where the beauty supply store was or whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, he gave me the directions or whatever. And I'm like, listen, you need to be a one-stop shop. How many people ask you for this brush? He was like, yeah, quite a few. I'm like, why would you not resell this brush? It's convenient, right? I would have went up to the street and bought it for $7, but I would have paid $10 because I would have paid and got it right then and there from him. So you have to have a complementary product or complementary experience to your main experience. It's so important. So your very second revenue stream can just be simply a complementary product or a complementary experience. So the third one is classes. Anything you do, you have to master it fully. Become an expert. And in doing so, you create an authority. And when people see you as an authority, they will listen to you and they will pay to listen to you. Why do you think there's so many millions of millionaire YouTube sensations right now? They've created an audience. They've created a following. And now guess what? These folks is getting paid. I remember looking at the numbers. I don't remember exactly what they were, but I think it was like somebody had $300 million in 2020 from a YouTube channel. I'm like, what? Actually, it was a little kid unboxing. It was like a whole new industry, unboxing. People are just so fascinated with this little kid unboxing different gifts that he's getting from around the world. I'm like, what? Yeah. So it's important. Whatever you're doing, guess what? There are 1 or 2 or 3,000 people that's one step behind you. So they will pay you for your expertise. They will pay you to show them how to skip a few steps, or make the right moves in the right direction. So it's important for you to start doing webinars and classes. Host a monthly class or a seminar to generate some additional income. And it could be simple. It could be just a meetup. It could be whatever, where you're charging a fee for folks to be able to do it. One of the tricks to classes and webinars is to do the one-to-many. Like right now, I don't know how many folks are on this Zoom. It doesn't even matter. But it's me teaching the webinar to many of you, right? So that way I'm getting, not in this particular instance, I'm only getting paid one time by the organization. But for example, I do webinars all the time and I charge each person to attend, right? So I'm getting paid from all of these multiple people, lower amount than I would one-to-one, but a greater amount because it's the masses, right? So that's the trick to doing classes and webinar, doing one-to-many, where you're getting several participants paying for you to teach something in a larger setting, okay? So that's the third revenue stream. The fourth one is consulting, mentoring, or tutoring. So this is that one-to-one, when you're coaching someone. This is when you usually charge more, right? Because you're giving them direct attention. You're able to look at their numbers and they can show you everything they need to show you and be present, and also ask really personal questions, right? So you can establish yourself as a coach, as a mentor, as a tutor. There's absolutely certifications for all of that, but you don't necessarily have to have a certification to get started. All you need is someone who believes in you, who trusts you, who sees the work that you're doing and wants to work with you. And so that is an easy way, easy revenue stream for you to get started, okay? The fifth one is a part-time job or working from home. Now, what I want to say about this, when I say get a part-time job or work from home, I'm not just talking about anything. I'm saying don't just go out to Walmart or anywhere and get a job. I'm saying get a job that is in your industry so you can learn the ropes, right? So if you're a beauty professional and you know for a fact that you're going to need beauty supplies, why not go work at a Sally's, right? Where you know for a fact they're going to give you a discount. You're going to meet people that will come into your beauty arrangement. So if you're going to get a part-time job, make sure that's complimentary, right? And then there's so many things out here nowadays. I mean, you could literally get paid like $150 part-time to fund your next business endeavor. So that's another revenue stream. And then the last active revenue stream that I will go over is vendor events. This is a really great way for you to meet people, to market your business simultaneously. And it's really a great return on investment in the form of new customers. Your products are being sold, your revenues are realized instantaneously. And it's a great way to market your business. I see people all the time. I go to events and I see people at their vendor events. And also, these vendor events are a great way for you to prove your concept. Most times they jack up the prices. I remember last year we went to the Juneteenth festival out there at the African American Museum. There was a long line for, I don't know if it was chicken or turkey. I don't eat neither one of them. I think it was maybe turkey legs or chicken or something anyways. But I saw people getting out of line once they got to the front like, gee, oh, it was chicken. It was chicken because it was like a chicken sandwich for like $12 and that's it. And whoever this vendor was, normally their chicken sandwiches are like $6 or $8 or something like that. But at vendor events, you can really jack those prices up because guess what? You got a captive audience. Those folks are coming there and they want to eat or they want to vend with you, but it's actually an opportunity for you to prove your concept as well. Okay, so that's 6 active revenue streams. Before we move into the passive revenue streams, that beach money that we was talking about, share in the chat, how many active revenue streams do you have currently? Okay. This is great. I like that 4-ish. So any of these 6 active revenue streams came as a surprise for any of you? Any of them where you were like, you know what, that would be a simple one to implement? Anything that stuck out with you so far over the 6 active revenue streams?
I think I had not separated them out like that. I was trying to remember, I can't remember the list, but I think that's what I was kind of thinking about is, and the intentionality of having a complementary experience or product, right?
Yes.
I hadn't thought of it like that and how simple it could be, perhaps.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Maye. So how soon do you think you can implement any of those? You're muted.
I know, because I was thinking.
Oh.
So when I think about the complementary one, I think I'd have to think about it. I think I'd have to look at the list again, and I think I'd have to think about it. When you framed it, it's not a service, it's an experience.
Yes, it is. I want you all to change your mind from products or services. Always think of it as products or experience from now on, because folks invest and buy experiences. They can get a product from anybody. And this experience is what sets you apart. Thank you, Tresha. She has a goal to add 2 more by summer. She just needs to plan and execute. Thank you so much. Here we're gonna get into the passive revenue streams. And the very first one, I know for a fact, my Yates, that you can employ this one, especially with what you're doing.
Can I ask
doing education and coaching?
Yeah.
So the very first thing that you absolutely need a book, a video, or something that you can get royalties off of. You do it one time and then you sell it every single time. Anybody that comes to your training or comes to your workshop, if you tell them, hey, there's a workbook in addition to this, or you just add that price on, is this price without the workbook, or is this price with the workbook? Most people are going to take the workbook. And a workbook is something simple that you can create, because guess what? You already have the content. So you just need to go ahead and pretty it up, print it off, and have it available for sale. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how we get into that beach money. And this is one of the areas that I could really assist you all in. I have written a total of 7 books. I'm working on one right now, and I'm telling you, I've been working on this thing for 3 years. I don't know why I can't get it out. It's just always something that pushes it further and further and further back. But it is my goal for 2022, so I'm going to get it out. But my point is, it's not hard to write a book. It's definitely not hard to write your first one. So if this is something that you all are interested in, absolutely get with Orlantha and say, I want to employ a revenue stream and I need Jennifer Finesse to help me create this book. And I will have you on a plan and holding you accountable, and you will get that book done, okay? But these royalties that come from that, for example, when I was, where was I at the last time? I don't even advertise my books. I really don't. I don't advertise my books. I don't do a whole bunch since I've been living here in Washington. But a lot of people know what I do. They know my story. And so they'll ask me, hey, you got any books? Or they'll go to my website and they'll be buying stuff. And I'm sitting somewhere in Dubai on the beach. This is what I'm talking about, this beach money, y'all. I'm sitting somewhere in Dubai on the beach, and all of a sudden my phone is like, ding. And I'm like, oh, I got a book sale. I gotta mail that out when I get back. But my point is, this is beach money. The last book, this book that I wrote was in 2016. I'm still making money in 2022 off of a book I wrote in 2016. That's passive revenue streams, okay? That's one of my revenue streams. And I have multiple books. I have some guides too. I have some guides on my website, free guides. Those are my lead magnets where people can get it and say, oh my goodness, I'm loving this. I love her. I want some more. Let me pay for a coaching session or whatever. But I have free guides that I've written on my website that'll help you in different areas of your life. One is on time management. So definitely go check that one out, because I know that is a huge issue for a lot of us as entrepreneurs. So anyways, that's one of the revenue streams. The other one is subscriptions and memberships. This is a pretty amazing revenue stream because guess what? It's a gold mine. As an entrepreneur, there are ebbs and flows in every stage of your business. And there are certain times when folks get money, when folks' monies get tight and they start to reprioritize, like, wait a minute, I'm gonna put a cap on this or that or whatever. You can offer your clients exclusive memberships, especially you ladies that are in the salon. Oh my goodness. You could say you have VIP, you pay this amount and you get to come on these days whenever you want, whatever. I remember when my baby was little, there was this beauty salon, they did braids for little kids. And so you can get, I don't remember if it was 6 styles or 8 styles in a 6-month period. So you pay for 6 months and I don't remember what the price was. It might've been like $300 up front. And then she'll give you her booking link and you just schedule your baby's hair, your hair braiding out. It was the most genius thing because guess what? Everybody wants their baby's hair to be fresh. And most of us don't got time to do it or not as good as a hairdresser, right? And so it's just a great way. If I don't come back and take advantage of those subscriptions, so what? That impacted her cash flow immediately, right? So that's why it's so important to have some type of subscription model or a membership model. And you got to make it cheap enough or insignificant enough where folks don't cancel. How many of us have had Bally's or the YWCA or what's that other one, the purple one, the membership, the gym membership? How many of us have allowed those to go through our accounts every single month, never, ever, ever go to the gym, but never cancel it? There you go, Tiffany, Planet Fitness. How many of us have done that with that subscription and other subscriptions?
Because you forget to cancel.
You forget to cancel, or when you see it, it's such a small amount, you say, oh, I'm gonna do it one day. I'm gonna go work out one of these days. And you just let it go. But guess what? That is their revenue model. That's their revenue stream. And they're dependent on us to let that go because it's such a small amount that we don't care. And you could do the same thing. I remember I bought some earrings from this girl and she was like, hey, would you like to buy a service agreement? And I was like, really? What is that? She's like, if your earrings break, I'll fix them. I was like, you know what? Yeah. Guess what? It was just $5. The earrings themselves was only $10. But I was just like, I was impressed that she was selling service agreements. And it was nothing that I signed or anything like that. I just gave her an additional $5. Them earrings, I probably lost one or broke them, and I ain't never going to take advantage of her service agreement. But I love the fact that that was something that she was doing. I wanted to support it. And you can do the exact same thing. Most times when people are in the midst of buying, if you upsell them, we've been upsold, right? If you upsell them on a subscription or a membership, guess what they're going to say? Okay. Especially if it's $9 or $7 or $17. It's no big deal. Nobody's going to miss $9 or $7 or $17. So this is the reason why this is a gold mine, because folks don't miss that. Okay. Another gold mine is your gift certificates and your gift cards. Oh my goodness. It's just like the subscriptions, but this stream provides an instant income, right? For a deferred experience or a deferred product later. And studies show that there is a great number of gift cards or gift certificates that never get redeemed. So what does that mean for your revenues? You've gotten paid for something that you never have to render. How amazing is that? This is the reason why you go to these little places and they have gift cards. Or at holiday times, they say, oh, you buy $100 worth of gift cards, we give you $10 for free or $20 for free or something like that. It don't matter, because guess what? They know you probably ain't gonna redeem them. And not only do they know you probably ain't gonna redeem them, it's helping their bottom line for the end of the year. So the more they sell, the better off they are. I'm so slick and cheap. I'll buy the gift certificate and use it right then and there on my meal, because I want the $20 that's gonna come for free. That's a whole nother hack, okay? I can tell y'all some hacks because I am super frugal, okay? But my point is, having gift certificates or gift cards that very seldom get redeemed is a great revenue stream. Okay. Number 4 is rents. Okay. So this picture is a picture of my condo that I put on Airbnb. So with this new gig economy, it's made it so much easier for us to rent our stuff out. So folks are renting out their cars, their bikes, their homes, and all kinds of assets, right? And you don't actually have to have property to be on Airbnb. I'm in an Airbnb Facebook group, and oh my goodness, everybody is balling on the Airbnb industry. People ask me all the time, hey, you renting out your place? I'm like, yeah, on Airbnb, here's the link. I don't have time for that. I make so much money. I make as much money in a weekend that I can make on rent, like a regular tenant. No, I ain't never coming off of there unless they close it down, and it's growing, so I'm good. Okay. It's a pretty lucrative way for you to have passive income. There you go, Tresha. She got a short-term rental too. Listen, it is the best thing smoking. The best thing smoking. Especially these ones with your car. You can rent your car out if you want to. You can rent all kinds of stuff now. It's like, let's just make some money on stuff. To me, I'm like, this gig economy is so smart. So smart. The other passive revenue stream is swag, right? So this is when you have your logo, your prints on something, right? And folks buy it. So everyone loves a good old t-shirt or a nice baseball cap. And swag serves as a dual purpose too. So your client gets to be associated with you and your brand, and you get the brand recognition, wherever they go, right? So that's a revenue stream as well as free marketing. So you might not be Nike or whatever, and people might not feel like it's something that they want to wear like to a swanky event. But if they just throw it on a t-shirt on a Saturday, guess what? It says your name. It's free branding. Yes, Tresha. She said she's getting into Turo next. I've been thinking about Turo for a long time now. I actually just gave my baby's car to somebody, but I was gonna put it on Turo before I gave it away, and then I was like, okay, whatever, it's gone now. But I think that's the best thing smoking. What's Turo? Is the app where you can put your car on it. You can put your car for rent, like you would go. Really? Yes, it's like the Airbnb, but it's for cars. So you can put your car on Turo, people rent it. You can either deliver it or they can pick it up, and you're making money. Especially now, because ain't none of us going nowhere. Especially me, I work virtually 100%, so I ain't going nowhere. But yeah, people rent your car, and like I said, you can charge them an extra fee to pick them up from the airport or drop it off wherever they want to, or you leave it in the parking space and they pick it up. Best thing smoking, this gig economy. All right. And so the last passive revenue stream is investments and interest-bearing accounts. Y'all don't know how geeked I was when, let me see if I can find it. I do the Robinhood app, and I don't even remember which stock it was, but they were like, here's your dividend. I was like, okay, I don't care. It was less than $5, but I didn't care. That's income, okay? The $5 add up. Even the 30 cents add up, okay? So I was like, listen here, I got an interest-bearing account. I got dividends. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm geeked about that. That's a revenue stream. No, it ain't gonna pay no bills or nothing. But guess what it's gonna do? It's gonna add up exponentially, right? And just keep adding up. And I'm fine with that. So those are the passive revenue streams. How many passive revenue streams do you want in the next 6 months? 3. Okay. Passive is the way to go. 4. Okay. Listen, it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. It may take some upfront time, some upfront energy, some upfront money, but after a while, you just sit back and letting it just grow, letting it just pay you. That's what it's all about. So interest-bearing accounts, is that the high yield accounts? It depends. I will say that we have one at Seattle Credit Union. And most times it ain't a whole bunch of interest you're getting, right? But it's still money and it still adds up. Like I said about my Robinhood account, I don't even remember which stock it was. It might have been, I wanted, for some reason, my mind is saying Snickers. I think it was some type of candy one. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I was geeked when they said, here's your dividend for the month. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even realize I did that. So it's important to have those passive revenue streams. We do not want to be working so hard and actively doing something to generate income. It's just not, it's not sustainable. It really is not. And really any person who has obtained a certain level of wealth, they'll tell you, I worked for the first part, and then the next part, I made it work for me. So when it comes to like your first million or your first $500,000 or whatever, you have to work for that. But that next part, you making that money work for you by the ideas that you have, just being smarter about it. Okay. There you go. Tiffany says she has one and it's 3%. Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, that's revenue. Absolutely. So before we move into the revenue models, I just want to pause. Any questions before we move into the revenue models, or any comments? What resonates with you all so far? Questions or comments? You can type it or you can unmute.
Can you, going back to the complementary, that list, can you give some more examples? I got the hair example. Can you give some, like, from various other industries, like what? So,
yes.
Yeah.
Tell me one of your industries.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So if my main is workshops for parents, right? I do totally get that a workbook will be really, that's a complementary, that's different from a book, right?
Yeah, it's different from a book, because here's the thing. You could tell them, hey, we're going to provide handouts. A handout, nobody expects to pay for a handout.
Right.
But guess what happens when you bind that thing?
Gotcha.
It becomes a workbook, and people expect to pay for a workbook because you've then paid for it. So that's one complementary product for what you do. But also think about the fact that they're going to be sitting there for an hour, half a day, or whatever, right? And most times we might say, bring your own lunch or whatever like that. But you can increase, you can give multiple buckets of the price for that workshop by adding different things. For example, one thing could be a one-on-one coaching session. You know, you pay $200 for just the workshop. But if you pay $300, here's what you get with that. You get a workbook, you get a one-on-one coaching session, you get a post-secondary workshop or whatever. You get something with that. So it's really just upselling and packing that package so deep that they don't have a choice but to say, oh no, I want the $300.
Got you. That's helpful.
So it could be the experience or a one-on-one face-to-face. Like I've done a few challenges where they say, hey, you can join the challenge for free, but if you want the VIP experience where you get to come into a room and set and do masterminds or do one-on-ones, then you pay an additional, I don't know, $57 or something like that. Most times it's free and then you pay more for the VIP part. So when you start thinking about complimentary, think about what would make this VIP. Does that help, Maya?
That does. It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I do have a question also around investments, and you can definitely tell me if this is none like. Have you invested in, like, I don't want to say local businesses, but businesses that startup businesses yourself that you have eyeballed? And
I have.
And what criteria did you use, and how did those startups then create an ability to be investable? I know I said it all wrong, but
no, it's okay. I get what you're saying. So I have absolutely invested in other businesses. I've invested in a couple different ways. One way is my time by not charging. Another way is actually putting money, like capital, into the business. And so it's been maybe 4 so far. The first one was a beauty salon, and the concept is what made me invest in it. Is because she wanted to have a place. It was like a salon loft, but with the open concept. So she wanted folks that do tattoos to be able to come in there and stop doing stuff in their home. She wanted folks to be able to come in and do a braid job. So people who did individual services, she wanted them to come out of their home into this space. It was almost like a co-working space for creatives. And I thought the idea was amazing. So I invested in that so that she could be able to get that business off the ground. It did really well for a little while, and then it stopped because she stopped. And then I didn't realize this at the time, but she had a brain tumor and she ended up passing away. But that was a business concept that I really, really believed in, and I thought it was amazing. The way she set up that business, and this taught me a lot, she set it up as a solopreneur, as a sole proprietor. So when she died, guess what? The business did too. And so my investment in that business died.
Got you.
But I don't regret it, because it was a learning experience for me, and it actually helped her to get it where she wanted it to be. Another business that I've invested in is a venue. It was a place, and she had a successful balloon business. She was doing really, really well. And then she wanted to have a venue because she was doing event planning. And she felt like if I have a venue, I can do all these things in my place. And I invested in that, and I invested time and money. And right now, I'm looking to invest in my baby. I want her to start a business. She's 16. And I'm like putting all these things in front of her. And I'm like, you build your business plan and I will fund it, But I guess all of my investments have been passion. It hasn't really been on their business plan or their business acumen. I just want to see them succeed. And so because I want to see them succeed, I will invest in them and put, pour into their business. So it's never been, I will say I've gone to a lot of angel investing, and I've even participated in due diligence processes and seeing if a business would pass the test to be able to invest like big money into. But I most of the investing that I've done has just been like, because I like it and I want to see you succeed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we move on to revenue models? All right, we're gonna move on. Is this good for y'all? Is everybody still here? I'm gonna need you to say something in the chat like, yes, let's go. This is amazing. You're amazing. I want to make sure y'all still here with me since y'all ain't asking no questions. That means that y'all got it all together. But are y'all still here though? Okay.
Maybe some introverts.
Is that what it is?
It could be.
I do see a question in the chat about a business plan, recommendations for a business plan. Oh my goodness, I have a 15 paragraph business strategy. So I used to teach a business planning class for, I don't know, 6 years. So I used to review business plans, teach the business planning class. It was a 6-part class, and each part would help you write the different parts of your business plan. And I reviewed a zillion of them. And I've actually used to write business plans. So what I did was I created a business plan template that asked specific questions like, who are you trying to reach? Why is it important? That type of thing. And you answer these questions, and at the end, you actually have a business plan. I also have a strategic plan model. So I just put my email in the chat. I can send those to you. No worries, no problem. But I definitely have a business plan template and a strategic plan model. Another one that you can just get offline is the business model canvas. So this is a 1-page document that looks at 9 different areas of your business. And when you're done with that, you actually have like a 1-page business plan. That's the business model canvas. So that's a good one. So that's the recommendation that I have. Somebody has a question about business credit and becoming an S Corp. I can answer those questions. So go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
So right now I am in the process of trying to build up my business credit. So kind of just got like my first business credit card, and not quite sure like what other things I should be doing to build up my credit for the business.
Well, I could definitely help you with that, Aisha. And actually, our last session was about building your business credit and your credibility. So I believe Orlando may have the replay. And if not, I could send it to you. I can send you my presentation, or we could do a one-on-one. But that's one of those things where I need to know where you are and then build you out a strategy to build your business within 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Aisha, I think we've got your paperwork.
Yes, for the one-on-one. Yes. Yep. Okay. And then I guess I don't know if the S Corp can be talked about during that, or if you want to kind of.
Well, I will touch on it. I will say that there are tons of benefits to becoming an S Corp. And one of them is just saving a lot of, like, not a lot, but saving money on taxes and not having to be double taxation like you do sort of like with LLC. But the absolute best person to ask is a CPA. Because they will look at your business structure, your business entity, and how you're making money, how you're spending money, and tell you if that's the best thing for you, because it's not the best for everybody.
Yeah.
It is a great way for you to save some money, but it may not be the best for you because you might be taxed in a different way, or you may not. So it's just really important for you to speak to somebody, let them see your books, let them identify the pros and cons of each, and then you make that decision on your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Orlando can probably help you with that as well, like pointing you in the right direction and also maybe supporting some of that work. And understanding that. Orlando's the best third person for y'all to know. I'm telling y'all.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, so let's move on to revenue model. So another way that you can finesse your business and kind of see greater results in your revenues is reviewing your revenue model. So I'm going to discuss a few popular ones, but I want to preface this by saying it's about 100 revenue models. And I just picked like the top 6 that I thought would be relevant to this particular training. So the top 6 are direct sales, which is what most of us do, right? And then there's some channel sales or indirect sales, web sales, Freemiums, oh my goodness, that one is really huge. A lot of us take advantage of that. And ad-based, and then affiliate. It's a little overwhelming. Oh, with revenue models, it can be. It can be. And that's the reason why I wanted to introduce this, because oftentimes we feel like it's only one way to do it. No, it's multiple ways to do it. And if this way is not working, maybe it's just a matter of tweaking that and doing something different to get you to a better place quicker, right? So it's just an understanding of this. You know what? I've been doing this for 6 months. Let me reevaluate. Let me see if this is something that really, really works, or if I should be doing something different. So the first thing is direct sales. So there is two types of direct sales. There's the inside sales and then the outside sales. So the advantage is if you're doing outside sales, meaning somebody outside of your company is doing the sales for you, then you have a really good chance of developing better relationships, not spreading yourself so thin, and also having multiple buyers and influencers selling for you, right? And the disadvantages of the direct sales model just means that you have to hire somebody. And by law, that means you got to pay them. So oftentimes, you might not have the revenues to be able to pay somebody to do those direct sales. So you got to understand, that's one of the disadvantages, but most times they'll pay for themselves in one sale. So that's why, oh, thank you, Tiffany. It is definitely going to be less stressful when you have somebody to hold you accountable to your results. I think that's the biggest thing. When we are entrepreneurs, especially when we're solopreneurs, we don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of or to hold us accountable to results. And so it's like, oh, you know what? I probably should have stuck with that for 3 months more, and I would have probably saw results. Or I probably shouldn't even went in that direction. And I probably would have known that if I had ran it by like my coach or my mentor or even a friend, right? I have a monthly mastermind session. It's a free session every first of the month from 5 to 8 this time. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 to 7 Pacific Standard Time. But it's folks that join all over the world. But I do that because I want other women. It's a mastermind. So it's a women's mastermind. But it's every first Sunday. And there's women that join from all different parts of the earth. And then they also are all different levels in their business. And it's just wonderful because they'll be able to hear from somebody and say, oh my goodness, I'm glad I heard that. Or we discuss challenges, we discuss wins, and we just really celebrate each other. Like, sis, you doing a good job. Sis, you doing a good job. But sometimes we just need to hear that, right? So that we can keep on running and see what the end gonna be. All right. But and so thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Aisha. So the next one is channel sales, and this is indirect sales. So this is when you have an agent or a reseller that's selling your product for you, either as a reseller themselves or delivering the product to someone else, right? So those are those indirect channel sales. The advantage is the model is ideal for companies or small businesses who have a product that has an incremental sales for their channel, can produce incremental profits. But the disadvantages is you really can't employ this model if your products require you to be the ambassador. So for example, if we have an experience, and I've done this before, where people love to hear me teach. They love for me to facilitate. Well, I don't remember exactly what happened. I think I was out of town or something. I went on a FEMA deployment. And I had a contract with the school system to come in and do their professional development. Well, I couldn't get back. And this is when everything was in person. And we weren't thinking about doing no Zoom back then. Right now, I could work all over the world. But I couldn't get back in time. So I hired one of my, she wasn't a colleague of mine, but she had a similar business. She was like a complementary business to mine. So I hired her to go in and do the training. And she was okay. And I wouldn't have hired her if I didn't think she was, but they was not pleased. They were like, no, we hired you. We wanted you. So that indirect sales and that channel sales, it couldn't work for that. because most times when you have an experience, they want you to give them that experience. And so that's why it wouldn't work for certain business models, but it will probably work for products, right? And more than likely it would work for products. So just be mindful of that based on the type of business that you have. The other one is web sales. Oh my goodness. I was doing a webinar a few months ago, and I just started doing a lot of research to see where web sales were. People are spending so much money on the internet. If you do not have your business online, shame on you, because you can reach folks all over the world in all different time zones and not have to worry about it. So if you're dependent on people to be face to face to actually make a sale, you're losing out on a ton of money. So this right here is a really important revenue model. It's something that you can possibly employ easily, especially now. Like you could sell things through Facebook Marketplace. I remember I was talking to my brother on Facebook Messenger. This is like a few weeks ago. And when we hung up, it says, send Delmar money. I was like, send Delmar money? What? I'm like, Facebook's trying to hustle me, right? But my point is, web sales is just that much easier to do, especially nowadays. Do you have experience selling on Amazon? I do not, but I know that there are Facebook groups out there with people who sell on Amazon and do it well and can teach you, and share their tips and tactics. Facebook groups are the thing for me. I learned so much in Facebook groups. I told you I'm in the Airbnb Facebook group, but go to the Facebook groups or just Google like Amazon selling. I can't remember what is it called? AS. I can't remember. But yeah, Google that and find somebody, because there are some experts out there, and there are folks that are like 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of you that'll teach you how to do it. But it is definitely a lucrative way for you to build your business or have another revenue stream. Then there's the freemium model. So this is where a company's basic services are free, right? And then you get the user to buy more, right? You upsell them. And we do this with a lot of apps or a lot of things. But for me, I have a freemium model, and that's with my guides. If you go to fiscalfinesse.net, you can download 3 or 4 guides right there. And these are like 10, 12, maybe 15-page guides that I've written and put together. And they're just really good topical information for you to employ instantly. But if you want a little more, you might want to buy one of my books, or you might want a session. So that's that freemium model, right? The disadvantages are it requires a good investment of time and money up front. And it's no guarantee that they're going to take advantage of the next option, right? So you might feel like, man, I put all this money and energy and time into it, and all they want is the free stuff. And I'm one of those people that want the free stuff. So listen, I get it. But my point is that could be a disadvantage of the freemium model. Okay. The next model is ad-based. So this is where you create ads for a specific website and you get money for that. So basically it's like Google AdSense or any of those type of things where you can get like anywhere from $5 to $10. The thing about it is you got to have enough traffic coming to your website in order for folks to really pay you for ad-based revenue model. But you probably don't even know how much traffic is coming to your website. And nowadays, these folks will pay for influencers like you and I. I told you I'm an influencer now. But they'll pay for the smaller influencers that don't have like 50 million followers, because they know the engagement is real. The engagement that I have with the folks that follow me or connect to me on social media is real. Like these folks look for the things that I put out. They engage with me. They make sure that they comment, they like, they share certain things. It's like I get 1 million views, 1 million hits, and it's like people, other larger businesses, they look for folks like us because they're like, this is real engagement. Where it might be somebody who paid for those follows or paid for those likes. and they ain't really getting no engagement, but yet it shows they got 50 million followers, but only 2 people liked your post. Like, that seems a little fishy, okay? But that is a revenue model. And then the last revenue model is affiliate. Oops, sorry, let me go back. The affiliate revenue model. So this is really popular now, right? And it can be coupled with the web-based one. But basically what it is where you are collecting commissions. So they may give you a code. I know a lot of people that I follow, like personal trainers, they have like weight loss gear or drinks and things like that, where they'll say, hey, get this drink, or they're an affiliate, so you know, use my link and you get this amount off, or whatever. Or maybe you don't get an amount off, maybe you just use their link to support them, but every time you use their link, their affiliate link, they get paid. And that's something that you all can do as a revenue model. If you have a complimentary product, and this is going back to your question, Maya, you may find something that's complementary to your business and say, hey, let's see if they have an affiliate model, an affiliate code that I can use to sell. That way you don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to recreate a new product. You could just sell it with your link and you get paid every time someone uses it. So that's the last and final revenue model. Any questions?
Yes.
And while you all are thinking of your questions, and for those of you that may not be asking a question right now, please take out your phone, use this QR code, and give me a review, because that social capital is more important than physical capital sometimes, especially now in this day and age. People pay attention to who's saying what, who's supporting you, and they make their decisions based on that. So this is my link, excuse me, for my reviews on Google. And I also just put it into the chat. So if this information resonates with you, please leave a review. Just let me know that you appreciate it, and let Orlando know that you appreciate it. And so it's open up for questions at this point. Any questions?
I had a question.
Yes.
Oh, do you have an example of an affiliate?
Yes. So the example of affiliate is, I follow this girl and I do her workouts. I ain't gonna say every morning because I'm so inconsistent, but her name is her name is Brittany Bay, and she has at-home workouts. So one of her affiliate links is for Gymshark. So every time she works out in Gymshark, and it's cute. It's some cute gear,
Gotcha.
Workout gear. And so she has a link on there. So she'll just post it all the time, or it's on her website. So every time somebody goes to that website, whether it's just to view or make a purchase, she gets paid.
Ah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So how does she establish that affiliate relationship?
Great question. The biggest thing, and this is what I was saying to my eight's question, the biggest thing is for you to identify who is a complementary experience or product to what I'm doing, so I don't have to recreate. For example, if you have a book that you want to use in your training, and you might want to buy like several copies of that book, or you might want other folks to go to that website and buy that book. Most times people will give you an affiliate link. For me, one of the things that I did, and I still do, I just don't do as much, when I was working with financial coaching and building people's credit, I had an affiliate link to Credit Strong. Credit Strong is a website where you can build your credit and build your savings at the same time. So every time I refer people there, and I would put that in folks' solution, but every time they went, I would get money. That's building their credit, building their savings. They're using my affiliate link, and I get paid every time. And I build that into their solution because guess what? It's absolutely complimentary. It's not something that I can do for them, and it's not something that I can even build out in a short period of time, but I get paid for that referral every single time. So those are two examples.
Yeah, while people are still coming up with their questions, some of you have reached out, some of you are already in process of benefiting from one-on-one consulting. But I just wanted to remind everyone on the call that if you would like to get that individualized support with Jenna Finesse, please reach out to me. I'll re-put my email here, and I'll also re-put the document in the chat as well. Let's see here.
So if you want a copy of this presentation, excuse me, that is the QR code. Oh, good question. Let me drop that in the chat too, girl. You absolutely need to be using QR codes nowadays, okay? QR codes is where it's at. So let me drop that into the chat. QR codes are free. We should be using these on everything that we're doing. And it's just a wonderful way, quick way, and making sure that folks absolutely get what they need in a quick way. So here's the QR code. I use QR Monkey. It's like QR Code Monkey. It's almost like Survey Monkey. It's free. And you just, oh, actually, I can share my screen and show y'all real quick. But let me drop it in the chat. And then let me stop sharing the presentation. And then I'll share, excuse me. I'll share this QR Monkey. Bam. So basically, you just pull it up, that QR code /monkey.com. You put your content, your URL right here. Bam. And then you hit create a QR code. And then I just use my little snipping tool. You see, I already did it, but use my snipping tool. Bam. And then put it wherever I need it. Thank you for asking that. Always ask me if you want to know something that I'm doing, because I will share. I am a sharer. I'm like, listen here, this is going to make your life better, your life different, your life easier. Definitely use it. Use these tools, because I'm all about working smarter, managing your energy and managing your time. Maybe your energy even more than your time, because I tell you what, when you wore out, you wore out. The next class is Finesse My Cash Flow, and that's next month's class. So make sure that you register for that and come to that. It's just going to be a great way for you to employ some tips and tricks for getting your cash flow in order and having a positive cash flow. All right.
Let me get the link for that.
Yes, that's the QR code, and Orlanta's going to drop in the link. And definitely stay connected. I am on all the social media platforms. And like I said, I do have some free guides on my website. So you can download those. And you have my email address if y'all have questions. Somebody asked about the business plan template. Please shoot me an email and I'll make sure you get that. But I absolutely do love being an educator, being an example, and just being here to support in any way that I can, as far as women-owned business, Black-owned business, minority-owned business, just business, period. But if you look like me and you got some experiences like me, those are the folks I really love to help, okay? I'm like, listen here, whatever I can do to help you get where you need to be, that's what I want to do. So just as an